Here we go. Early morning, guys, as I'm recording this and going to do a solo episode. Throat is a little bit raspy as it is the end of the week from coaching it up. I want to thank my friend Ray Zingler for this hoodie. He sent it to me last year. He's down in Georgia. Love what he's doing, not just with strength and conditioning, but with training, with business. I love the way he's training athletes down there. So shout out to him, even though it's a gift from a year ago. I'm really grateful when people send me stuff, and I actually struggle with accepting gifts. So, thank you for that. I always talk about earning it. So I want to thank my brothers over at Sorinex.com for partnering with me. Sorinex sponsors the Strong Life podcast. Head on over to Sorinex.com. Even Ray Zingler has a full outfitted gym with Sorinex equipment. To me, that's the way to go. I've been using Sorinex since 2003 and just been awesome. Love those guys. So check them out, whether you have a private facility, outfitting your garage, anything like that. So in this episode, I'm going to cover a few things. And I also want to add a little gift or discount code for the people listening and watching. I've never actually done this on the podcast. So in the podcast, if you scroll down, you see kind of the information, the notes, and I will put a discount code in there with a link to the Underground Strength store. And you could apply that discount to business courses, training courses, and enjoy a little discount and take care of yourself. As a father and a husband, we're always providing, taking care of others. And at least that's what I would hope other fathers and husbands are doing. But I think it's also important to invest in yourself, take care of yourself. So today I'm going to be buying a new audiobook by Jack Carr. That'll be my investment in myself. And also just picking up books, knowledge. My desk is always covered in books. My nightstand is covered in books. There's kind of books scattered throughout the whole house. So my wife is not a fan of that. I love reading, though. It's hard to stop a hungry man. Drinking morning tea, although for a bit I was drinking coffee. It was called Strong, and it's just called Strong Coffee. You could find them on Instagram, and it was very good. Collagen, tasted good, almost tasted like a mocha. But tea is better on my stomach and better for energy levels. But I'll incorporate some coffee every now and again. So cheers to everybody watching and listening. My morning always begins with 2 glasses of water, and I'll put a little lemon in there, possibly a little bit of grapefruit squeezed in there. And then I have some tea, get some breakfast done for the kids. Then I hit the gym. Then I'm off to the high school for coaching. But anyway, you might be new here. So welcome to the Strong Life podcast, where we talk about more than getting stronger with the weights, stronger in the gym, talk about strength that transcends the gym walls. And I'm going to pull up a question that I missed from the last Q&A. So if you're watching on YouTube here, I'm going to go back to my Instagram, and we could actually do a screen share here. And then I'm going to share an awesome testimonial from the Underground Strength Coach certification. So let's do a screen share. That's it. How do we do this? There we go. Sharing what's on my desktop. All right, guys. Email, bang. And here we are on my Instagram, Zievanesh. Make sure you guys are keeping up over there. We're doing a lot of awesome stuff. So I can't remember the name of this gentleman, but he's been sending me some great messages. Instagram handle, BRCA4, Flitwick4. His question is, what do you wish you knew as a father and husband before you started both of those journeys that you know now? And he said, I also sent my DM for identity. So could be, I'm thinking he's talking about as far as what are the journeys, how am I, or what do I wish I knew with regards to, let's stop that screen share. running a business, both online and in the gym, which I started doing when right before I proposed to my girlfriend to be my fiance, now my wife. I started studying and researching the business of strength and conditioning. I remember being in my room at home at my parents' house, listening to a program, a business course I bought from my mentor, Ryan Lee. And I'll never forget that course. I still have it here. It was $97. It changed my life. And I became obsessed with winning. And the reason why was because I was able to look back at my high school time and realize that a large part of my lack of success was due to my negativity, my depression, my lack of self-belief. And I realized that the guys that were winning were not necessarily better. They certainly did not work harder. I don't want to say I worked harder than everybody, but many people I certainly outworked by, you know, a marathon at the least. They just had a belief in themselves. They went for it. And I took that approach and began applying it to business. And that confidence really allowed me to soar and skyrocket with getting momentum, with getting things going. I already knew that nobody was going to outwork me. I'm an extremely hard worker. That's easy to do, but you got to believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself, it is the ultimate glue that keeps things together. Things have changed a lot since I've started my business, from being engaged and then married and then being a father. There were no social media channels when I started in the early 2000s. MySpace came out a little bit afterwards. And so I think it was actually easier to focus back then. You didn't have the distractions. I did not have a smartphone. I had a flip phone. So everything was focused on just getting the work done. During my prep period at school, I was an elementary phys ed teacher. I was writing articles constantly, or I would go up the street to our playground at the elementary school, take a colleague with me and say, hey, take photos of me as I do pull-ups and dips, and take a photo of me while I'm doing this exercise off of the park bench. So I leveraged my time like crazy. Take another sip of tea here. Mistakes I made was, and I'm not so sure this is a mistake, but I struggled turning it off. I struggled stopping working. And I guess that's the power of being young, though. So I began this business in my late 20s. Unlike a lot of the strength coaches today who go to school for these things, they start doing this literally in their teenage years. They start studying it. So I actually think a lot of these things benefited me. When I wanted to learn, I would travel and drive places or get on an airplane. And I've shared the story before, but I remember the IYCA was originally founded by Brian Grasso, and he's going to have me on his, he's got a coaching group for entrepreneurs. I'm going to be on that call in about a week and a half. He was based in Chicago. And so on a Friday after work, I flew out to Chicago. Saturday and Sunday was the certification. And I got very sick Friday flying there. If you've ever heard of the Windy City, it was snowing sideways. I don't want to say I never got so sick on an airplane. I've gotten sick before like that. And so another dude, Jeff, I'm forgetting Jeff's last name, he drove from Connecticut. So I paid his gas all the way back to drive me home Monday. I just called out sick on Monday. So we drove 12 hours from Connecticut, from Chicago to New Jersey. Then he drove to Connecticut. So there was actually a lot of benefit and power to starting back then. I learned hands-on. I was also a lifter. I had spent already, half of my life, more than half of my life training and learning. I started training at age 13 and a half. By the time I started digging into strength and conditioning, I was in my mid 20s, 25, 26. So I've already spent half my life training. My wife did a great job of helping me manage our family time. So even though your question was, what were the mistakes? Let me kind of share what she did, that she saw that I worked so much. So when our daughter was born, She said on Saturday, you could work until, if I recall correctly, 12 noon. I'd wake up, eat my breakfast, get some coffee, and I could work for 4 hours, writing articles, making videos, creating ebooks. I was selling ebooks, DVDs I was selling in those early 2000s until probably 2009 or so. And then the rest of Saturday and Sunday was family time, and she'd pick a new town for us to travel to. And we did so much fun, awesome things. And by the way, last weekend, my kids had sporting events on Saturday. Now my kids are older. So I said, Sunday, we're going to the farm. We're going apple picking, pumpkin picking. We're going to go to the orchard. Then we're going out to eat. Then we had to go to the mall. But hopefully you have a partner that helps balance your crazy work ethic. Because what they don't tell you as an entrepreneur, they say, oh, you have this freedom. You have this freedom to work from anywhere at any time, but you also have freedom to work 24/7, which can stifle creativity. And it's certainly not healthy because you're never shutting it off. So you need days and activities where you are not doing anything related to work. It's just like training. You can't train 7 days a week, all day, all night, and think you're going to get stronger. You get weaker. You lose motivation because you're doing and showing up to the same place over and over again. You need time away from that stuff. And now, I'll say, here's my mistakes now, because I feel I actually, I have, I'm infinitely smarter than I was in the, pre-2010 times, but I made a lot more money in my online business around 09, 2010, 2011, because you can reach people organically. Today, you cannot. Think about it. My Instagram has 30 something thousand followers. I'll post a video that gets like less than 200 views. So I don't know what the percent is for you mathematicians, statisticians, but that shows you that organic reach is almost dead unless you're somebody really prolific that is, captivating, like my buddy Elliot Hulse. Grab some drink here. And so I also don't speak on topics like Elliot because that's not what's in my heart. And when you guys see Elliot speaking on those topics, that's who he is. That's how he is. He's living his truth. And so, speaking of a mistake and living your truth, I remember looking at the successful online fitness coaches, and I never felt like I was in this fitness industry. I always felt like I'm in the strength world, strength industry, if there is such a thing. And these guys were like ripped, 165 pounds. I'm like 225. I'm a power bodybuilder / strongman / wrestler / super passionate guy. I wasn't interested in helping women lose 10 to 15 pounds. I wasn't interested in talking to women about those things, but I started seeing that that's how they were succeeding. And so I was like, okay, I need to wear a collared shirt. I got to tuck my shirt in. I need to talk to busy men who only want to train from the comfort of their home, air quotes for those of you listening and not watching. And I remember I was like, dude, this is horse shit. I'm not interested in working with people who tell me they're too busy, can't get to the gym. I only have dumbbells. When somebody says to me now, like they're in my program, Gladiator Strong, and I'll put that link in my in the notes here on Apple Podcasts. Oh, I don't have a sled. What's a substitute? Go make a sled. That's my answer. Go make a sled. Go get a tire. Drill a hole in it. Buy toe straps. Buy a rope. I don't care, and do it. I did that in my early days. My first DVD was called Ancient Training Methods for Modern Day Gladiators. Then we just called it Ancient Training Methods. Now that DVD is a streaming video inside undergroundstrengthcoach.com. But I didn't want to work with people who always needed some alternative. And when I worked or tried to fit and become somebody I was not, fitting into a mold that I was not fit to be in, I wasn't making any impact. I wasn't changing lives, and I certainly wasn't making money doing that. And when I made Ancient Training Methods, it was exactly who I was supposed to be. It was a video of us training with logs, sandbags, tractor tires. We were training inside a tire yard, backyard, playgrounds, tree logs we were using, pushing trucks. And I had gone to a seminar, and if I'm really, it was 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Jim LeBady did it, Ryan Lee, Debbie Happy Cohen, 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. It was called something like Velvet Rope Fitness Business. And I remember saying that I'm going to release this DVD and I'm going to make so many sales that I'm going to be carrying them in both of my arms into the post office. And at that time, I started working with a fulfillment company, so I didn't have to go to the post office. But I remember in that first day, probably selling over a dozen of those videos. And the DVD may have been $27, maybe 37 or 39 bucks. So, 40 bucks times 10 or 12 or 16. So it was pretty common back then for me to be selling stuff like that on an almost daily basis because I stayed true to myself. But during that time, small time slot, small time period where I thought I had to be like these other guys, it did not work for me. And so I think the ultimate advantage in business is to be yourself. The biggest mistake I see many coaches doing is they lose themselves and they just copy other people. You can't copy us. You got to be who you are. And so I do what I believe in. So now, guys, I'm going to go back to a screen share. I'm going to share with you a testimonial from one of our certifications. I have 2 certifications, and we've got the Underground Strength and Sports Performance certification, and we've got the Strength and Sport Performance Coach certification. And so the Underground Strength Coach cert has the odd objects, has a different style of program design, a much more raw, gladiator tough training style, which I believe should be your starting point as a strength coach. Then go to the SSPC cert, which is currently only in person, but it will be online. And the test is going to be more than multiple choice. So how can a certification be online? Because you have to pass a multiple choice exam. Then there is a practical where you're going to have to get a friend or a buddy to record you training others through exercises, warm-ups, technique, assessment. It's quite in-depth and thorough, and it allows me to, I now am like, yes, I will certify you online if you have to go through this, if you go through it successfully. So we're going to get back to a screen share. So if you're not watching, I would catch this on the YouTube. Share here. All right. Let's make this smaller. There we go. And I'm just going to move this over. There we go. Okay. So you can see Reinhardt sent me an email in response to my newsletter. Go to zachstrength.com. It's uncensored. I'm not going to have to worry about the bull crap from Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, algorithms and all that. For example, my YouTube videos would get 1,000 views within a few days, 1,400 views, maybe 2,000 views. Now we're looking at 200 to 300 views after 4 days. It's horrible. So I would say I am 100 times smarter than 10 years ago, yet my impact to the world because of how business works is 90% less. So what's the mistake there? Not learning paid advertising. And, that's the game. And sometimes I say to myself, I've heard Naval say this, the only way to win the game, truly win the game, is to not have to play the game. And that's where I want to be. Okay, from Reinhardt. Zach, I wanted to take a second before it escapes me again to thank you. This weekend, my wife and I are uprooting our lives and moving down to Fayetteville, North Carolina, so that I could begin my new job on Monday as a contracted strength coach with the Army's H2F program. This is a position that I was recruited for. I did not have an application out, a resume out, nor any previous communication with the company that I will be working for. They recruited me off my LinkedIn profile, which showcases my previous experiences and education. In this experience, I have the Underground Strength Coach certification listed. I owe you thanks because of how the Underground Strength Coach cert has prepared me for the role that I'm stepping into. The tricky thing here, guys, is you want to know why I got away from Underground Strength Coach? Is see how Ryan, even as a certified coach, is UG. Underground is one word. If underground is two words, it means I'm literally under the ground. Whereas the initial and still the meaning behind underground is these are training methods that are not the norm, not the common. This was a blend of training methods that I picked up from the studying and research of the Eastern Europeans, the Russians, the training I experienced in bodybuilding. You know, training at Diamond Gym is the equivalent of, it's the West Side Barbell of powerlift. It's the West Side Barbell of bodybuilding. So I blended all that together. So he says the USC certification has prepared him for that role. Presently, I'm a CSCS and USC certified and have had certifications as a personal trainer with kettlebells, battle ropes, speed training, and Olympic lifting. During my onboarding call with my manager for my position, he mentioned I might be training soldiers in a facility, outside, or even in austere field environments. At no time during this did I think to myself, I'm not prepared for this. In fact, I thought to specific programs and manuals of yours that I have gone through and thought, oh, I could do this here, or I could do that there. If we're out in the field and all we have is logs, stones, rocks, and body weight, I could do this and this. Your Underground Strength Coach cert and membership have helped me tie a lot of my previous experience and education together to be able to provide training that will certainly enable soldiers under my care to thrive. Thank you for putting your knowledge and wisdom out there for guys like me to learn from. It is super valuable. I'm looking forward to employing it and passing it on myself. You are the man, Zach. Keep doing what you're doing to not only enable other coaches, but to train athletes, individuals to be strong, fit, and tough. Now I'm going to get back to listening to your Strong Life podcast with Al Vermeil. Take care, Ryan Hart. Boom. Love it. And so when you sign up for the Underground Strength Coach cert, you're going to get a full seminar that's been recorded. You're going to get the Underground Strength Training manuals. These are downloads. You're going to get, sorry guys, you're going to get a bonus sports performance seminar that was done with myself and Matt Wenning. And you're going to get a year access to the Underground Strength Academy. And while I'm doing this, guys, we're doing I'm going to do the text right here. The checks are written out to the Navy SEALs Fund. So I'm doing a fundraiser at my school for the Navy SEALs Fund, and we're crushing it. And part of what I've done with the Underground Strength Gym since 2007 is I fulfilled my promise and I gave my word to Alan Cosgrove about paying it forward. And so this time we've got a fundraiser for the Navy SEALs Fund. Next time will be a fundraiser for a cancer fund, usually a leukemia lymphoma cancer fund. And it might be for a local hospital next time, though. Pay it forward. That's been a huge lesson from my mentor, Alan Cosgrove. And back to the certification is my certification might not have the coolest name, but I'm going to tell you what, the coaches who go through my certifications are going to become great coaches because of the practical application type of information. It's not overhyped, overcomplicated bullshit. It's the shit that works. The high school that I'm coaching at, we are packed in there. I'm literally got an email last night that I'm turning down a team. I have so many kids because they love it. It's not only transforming them physically, it's changing their lives. Kids that are supposed to be there twice a week with a team, maybe 3 days a week, they show up Monday through Friday. I can't even get rid of them. Our athletes at the Underground Strength Gym are, of course, crushing it, at least those who follow through and do the work. Not everybody does the work. So that's all I got for you guys. That's what I wanted to share. I wanted to answer that question about mistakes and changes I would have made, but I'm grateful that I got it done before this crazy ass social media stuff. And I can't wait to be away from social media. I don't see myself being a strength coach in the public eye forever. I want to be able to retire from a lot of that stuff and do things privately without having to post a video. Remember, to win the game ultimately is to not ever have to play the game. And for those of you who want information on the Underground Strength Coach cert, go to undergroundstrengthcert.com. And when you go to my academy, there is a discount of, I believe, $100 off. And you go to undergroundstrengthcoach.com. So when you look at the workout of the month, you will see the discount. The added exam is going to be happening in a week or two. So if you went through the Underground Strength Coach online course and you're not certified, you will have the opportunity to go through this practical part. You'll have to put together the video, put it unlisted on YouTube or Vimeo, email it to me, and you'll have an opportunity to get certified online. The SSPC cert will be coming probably after the new year. We're finished up with that. And I've got the exams getting finished up, the multiple choice exam. I'm really proud of those two things. So I want to see great strength coaches, not good strength coaches. I want to thank everybody for watching, listening. Thank my brothers over at soarnext.com. Make sure you check them out. And for discount codes to the products, business and training courses, there is a discount code in the show notes here. And of course, you get a discount code when you sign up for my newsletter at zachstrength.com, uncensored newsletter. Boom, I'm out of here. Have a great day, everybody. Much love. If you're here on YouTube, subscribe, like, and comment. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review, share it with a friend, and tag me on Instagram so I could see where you're listening. Talk to you guys soon. I'm out of here.